Hey YouTube, it's ShryphonX here. Today we're going to be talking about Dandadan Chapter 203. Like and subscribe for more content. Momo, Iase, along with Vamola and Seiko, find themselves ensnared in a cleverly orchestrated trap by a fake shrine priest who closely resembles Saint Germain. They are then confronted by a group of phantom ninja thieves allied with a Serpoian-type alien. The alien, disguised with chameleon-like features, threatens to deliver them to the Serpoians, a powerful extraterrestrial group that aims to harvest their abilities. In a symbolic and tense moment, the Saint Germain doppelganger bows before Seiko, seemingly acknowledging an imminent confrontation. She appears alone in a stark, empty expanse, leaving the chapter on a cliffhanger that highlights her isolation and internal conflict. Crucially, this chapter marks the return of Evil Eye, stepping into the battle precisely when Momo's group needs reinforcement. One Reddit fan exclaims, "My fucking GOATTT? Evil Eye." Another notes, "I knew he'd come to the fight, and right on time too." The consensus is that in Ninra vs. Evil Eye is a compelling matchup that fans have long awaited. Reddit responses have been overwhelmingly enthusiastic. In Inra, the smoke-manipulating yokai is described as cool and imposing, raising anticipation for the upcoming clash. Inra is so cool, and he's my goat, one user exclaims. Regarding Evil Eye's involvement, one user anticipates narrative tension. "I think the final deal doesn't prevent Evil Eye from fighting, just from murdering people in a fight." And for EE, playing fighting murdering are basically the same, they speculate. Another speculates on character growth, wondering if we might get some character development for Evil Eye. I'm wondering if we might get some character development for Evil Eye. He starts to see things a little less black and white, they suggest. The chapter escalates the stakes as the Serpoian-aligned antagonists have cornered Momo's group, just as the deadline for Momo's curse removal ritual draws near. Evil Eye's intervention is timely, shifting the balance in favor of the protagonists and setting up a major showdown. Seiko faces a formidable opponent in Saint Germain, testing her resolve and courage under pressure. Meanwhile, Evil Eye's return raises expectations for moral evolution and shifting alliances. Momo and Vamola's battle against the chameleon alien and ninja thieves is expected to intensify. Seiko's confrontation with the Saint Germain doppelganger is likely to become the chapter's focal point, potentially revealing its true nature. Evil Eye's full engagement promises to define the climax and shift the momentum. Following his bow to Seiko, the pseudo-priest unleashes a powerful blow that sends her crashing into a nearby pillar. He swiftly follows up with an axe kick, but Seiko narrowly manages to evade it. They then engage in hand-to-hand combat. Seiko quickly recognizes her opponent's overwhelming strength and precision, noting that his attacks are aimed directly at her vital points. Despite this, she manages to analyze his movements and remarks that his attack patterns are surprisingly easy to anticipate. Seizing a moment when the priest appears vulnerable, Seiko attempts a decisive strike. However, her double punches phase right through him as his body is revealed to be made of smoke. The pseudo-priest retaliates with a vicious uppercut to Seiko's chin, followed by two direct blows to her ribs, and concludes with a seta to send her crashing back into the wall. As Seiko suffers from the damage, the pseudo-priest praises her for her battle performance. In response, Seiko reveals his true identity, Inenra, a smoke-based yokai. Inenra contemptuously stomps on her ribs, eliciting a scream of agony, and urges her to accept defeat, arguing that she must now realize the futility of resisting. Undeterred, Seiko mocks him, dismissing his warrior persona and calling his abilities a fraud. She then attempts to harm him with a retaliatory kick aimed at his groin, only for it to pass harmlessly through his form and provoke the yokai, who counters with a kick of his own. Down below, Momo hears the violent commotion and grows increasingly concerned for her grandmother's safety. Meanwhile, Bamora becomes shocked to notice Momo on her head, mistaking her for a fairy. With Seiko lying defeated on the floor, too injured to stand, Inenra stands over her ribs, applying pressure that causes her to cry out. He admires her spirit, her unwavering resistance to the agony, and contemplates the paradox of biological survival instincts versus the human capacity to defy death. Curiosity drives him to test her resolve by destroying her body thoroughly, applying more pressure to her ribs with his feet, which causes her to cry out in pain once again. Before he can proceed, Inenra is interrupted by the arrival of Evil Eye, holding a defeated ninja in his hand. The yokai expresses his irritation at being made to wait in the taxi. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe for more content. ShryphonX out.